quick little video about trading, and specifically Bitcoin, Litecoin, Solana, any of the good cryptos. Dot, right? I guess you could even argue XRP. I would definitely put Cardano in that mix. Solid cryptos. And you might trade them against US dollar if you're using inverse proportion perpetuals. You might trade them against Tether or USD coin or some other stable coin, maybe DAI, whatever. Whenever you're trading against, maybe you trade Ethereum. Notice that when people think that the markets move in cycles based on historical patterns of the data set, like the price candles, instead of looking at the historical cycles of the volatility, and they're not really cycles, you can call them that if you want, but they're not patterns to chase, right? They're just expanding or contracting volatility, just like you have expanding and contracting entropy. When people talk about cycles, go, there's a Bitcoin cycle, then there's an altcoin run, and then there's a commodities run, and then there's a stonk run, and then there's a Forex run, and then there's back to crypto. They're really missing a lot about the bigger picture here. Okay, markets don't actually run from one asset type to another in that sense with regularity. Okay, like in a predictable sense of like, oh, today it's going to be only Forex and stonks that move. Really? Because I bet you I can find you some Forex and stonks that didn't move very much today, and I bet you I found some other things that moved a lot today. Right? It's like the majority of the retail market is lucky if it gets half the story right, because they're being fed lies and misinformation, right? Disinformation, whatever you want to call it, deception. They're being deceived by people who claim to know better and don't actually show them how the markets actually work. They talk about it, but they don't actually show them. Right? If you look at our live streams at Alpha Trading, we actually show you how it works, right? Why? Because we can, right? And because the others don't, which is fascinating. You know, people are constantly searching for like, how do I make money? How do I make money in the markets? How do I make money trading? They always end up in the most garbage information websites, because those are the websites that have had decades of massive pumping from other quote unquote authoritative sources, which are really just the smart money institutions who have massive, trillions of dollars under management. So to shovel a couple $100 million a year into marketing is a rounding error to them. Like, seriously, right? So they can buy all of the influencers that they need in traditional media, in new media, it doesn't matter. Right? They can buy all of them. TV, cable news, all the business channels, business magazines, business newspapers. There's no shortage of outlets, right? And then all the new media, all the radio as well, by the way, right? And even movies, Like, there isn't a media outlet that is off limits to them. And there isn't a media outlet that they can't buy, placement in and good coverage in. And they know this. How do they know this? Because in the business, we know this, right? We see these offers all the time, like all the time. Do you know how many people are shocked when I tell them, yeah, half the articles you read, or whatever percentage, a huge amount of articles you read on Forbes.com are paid advertorials. The average person still does not know this. It's only people that work in the internet publishing, media, advertising, and all that industry, SEO and all that stuff. Yeah, we know this. It's part of the course, right? They sell authoritative looking, but not really articles, like posts to people. They're just advertorials. And we know that. And we get offers for thousands and thousands of media placements in so-called business media, which is really just anybody can put up a website and call it a business media outlet. And as long as they have traffic to it, they can start selling ads, right? Even if they have no traffic, they can start selling ads. They can start putting ads up on it, right? And once they start getting traffic, they can start seeing some money from that. Now, the thing is, yeah, you can say, well, nobody goes to websites anymore. A, that's just not true, right? Plenty of people use websites. Yes, more and more people spend more and more time on social media sites in the more and more closed garden world where they do less stuff. They spend less time maybe on random websites than they used to, but they still go to websites a lot. Okay? They still look around for information and they still click on links from inside social media platforms that take them to other places. Now, you might be doing that less and less on certain platforms, like on X, where they don't like to promote links to external sites, but people still do. It's such a weird concept. You go on a social media site that supposedly is a source for news, but you can't publish a link to your news article unless it's a reply to an original post. But like, it's so antisocial. Literally, social media should just at this point, like, unironically be called anti-social media, because that's really what it is. I don't care what platform it is. X, Blue Sky, TikTok, Insta, WhatsApp, Facebook, Meta, whatever it's called. These are all antisocial platforms. They create distance between you and the next person. They don't create proximity. I mean, yeah, in some cases they create proximity, but day to day, average user doing average things is not connecting more with people. Maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you could have said, oh, social media is very useful for connecting. It was. And it still is good for connecting digitally. But for connecting in the real world is absolutely terrible. Right? It does not help people connect physically, like on a quality level, right? Unless you want to argue to me that the quality level or the engagement, like, yeah, again, I'm not doubting that there's value to social media. I'm just saying the amount of time people put into the energy they spend on social media, which is really just toxic, is disproportionately overwhelming compared to the amount of time they spend doing anything significantly positive in social media. Like, the vast overwhelming majority of energy people spend in social media is definitely negative. Right? I think we can all agree on that. It's extremely toxic, or so it has become, and intentionally, because as we all know, the algorithms, love to make it so. Right? They love to make negative attention or the thing that brings their currency. After all, the people who use these devices are actually the currency, right, of these platforms. And we all know that are the business. The users are the profit to that company. Why? Because they sell the access to your information to different kinds of companies, right? And as a result, your data is their business. And that's the old saying, your data is their business model, because it is. So anyway, I know it's a bit of a meander from Litecoin and Bitcoin and Solana and Ethereum going in cycles, but it actually has a lot to do with it. It's all connected. If you don't think that the high-tech industry is connected to the crypto industry, well, guess what it actually is. There's a lot of high-tech people that are into crypto. There's a lot of crypto people that are into what they call high-tech. It shouldn't surprise anybody. Okay, that's going to do it for now, folks. I'll talk with you later. Happy trading. Cheers.